Have you ever spent, hours getting your resume just perfect, sending it off for what feels like your dream job, and then crickets? Just total silence? Yeah, that's the resume black hole, and it is honestly one of the most frustrating things about looking for a job. Well, today we are going to pull back the curtain and show you exactly what's going on, and more importantly, how to get your application seen by an actual human being.
So here's our game plan for today. First, we'll talk about this resume black hole and meet the robot gatekeeper that's causing it. Then we get right into the good stuff. How to beat the bot with some smart formatting, how to write a hook that grabs a human's attention, and a super simple formula for a perfect pitch. We'll wrap it all up with a final check you should do before you ever hit send. Okay? Let's dive in.
All right, first up, the resume black hole. And trust me, it is a very real thing. It's the reason all your hard work can feel like it just vanishes into thin air. You know that feeling, right? You hit submit, you're full of hope, and then absolutely nothing. It honestly feels like your application was just sucked into a void. And you're sitting there wondering, did anyone even read it? Well, the tough truth is, probably not.
Okay, get ready for this. Over 97% of Fortune 500 companies use software to filter resumes. So for the huge majority of jobs out there, it's not even a person who sees your resume first. It's a program. And this, right here, is the single biggest reason why so many qualified people get completely overlooked. Your first challenge isn't the hiring manager, it's the robot.
So who is this robot gatekeeper anyway? It's time to formally meet the so-called villain of our story, the Applicant Tracking System, or as everyone calls it, the ATS.
Just think about it for a second. When a big company posts a job, they might get hundreds, maybe even thousands of applications. There is no way they can read them all. So they use an ATS to do the first pass. The system basically collects, scans, and then ranks everybody, serving up only what it thinks are the top candidates to a real person. It's a tool for efficiency, sure, but it's a tool you have to know how to play by its rules.
So how does this whole thing work? Let's follow your resume on its little journey. First, the recruiter puts all the job details into the system. Then, when you apply, the ATS scans your resume, trying to pull out key info. Now here's the most important part. It scores you based on how well your resume matches the keywords in the job description. Finally, a recruiter logs in and searches for the top-scoring candidates. If you don't have the right words on your resume, you're pretty much invisible.
Okay, enough about the problem. Let's talk about how to fix it. Beating the bot isn't about some secret trick. It's really just about understanding the rules and making your resume simple and clean so the software can actually read it.
Now, this one kind of goes against everything we think we should do, right? We want our resume to look cool, to stand out. But all that fancy formatting, tables, columns, cool graphics, it can totally confuse the ATS. The software just doesn't know how to read it, and a lot of the time, it'll just throw your resume out. So the key is to keep it simple, clean, and boring. Boring is good here.
Here's a quick checklist for a bot-friendly resume. Use standard headings the bot will recognize, like work experience. Don't get creative. Always spell out acronyms, like search engine optimization, SEO. Use a standard date format so it can figure out your years of experience. And of course the basics. Send it as a PDF unless they ask for something else, and please proofread like your job depends on it, because it kinda does.
And this right here shows exactly what I mean about headings. Core skills, education, certificates. The ATS is programmed to look for these exact phrases. It knows what to do with that information. But if you write something clever like my professional journey, the bot's just going to get confused and probably skip it altogether.
And here's that acronym rule in action. See how it says Enterprise Planning Systems ERP? By putting both, you've just doubled your chances. Doesn't matter if the recruiter searches for the full phrase or just ERP, you'll show up. It's a tiny detail that makes a huge difference.
Okay, awesome. Let's say you formatted everything perfectly. The bot is happy, it's given you a high score, but now you've got a new challenge. Research shows that recruiters spend an average of just 7 seconds on their first look at a resume. 7 seconds! That's all you get to convince them to keep reading.
So what's your most powerful tool to win that 7-second battle? It's your resume summary. Think of it as your personal elevator pitch, right there at the very top of the page. Its entire job is to give that hiring manager a quick, punchy reason to think, okay, this person might be a good fit, and keep them reading.
So, what should you actually put in this all-important summary? Well, this chart tells you exactly what recruiters are looking for. Look at that top bar. Over 76% of them search by skills. Job titles and certifications are also way up there.
The takeaway here is crystal clear. Your summary absolutely has to be loaded with the right keywords from these top categories.
Now I get it. Writing about yourself can feel awkward, so let's just make it super easy. We're going to use a simple, almost fill-in-the-blanks formula to build a summary that's both really powerful and easy to write.
And here it is. It's that simple. You start with your target job title and your top skills. Then, you hit them with 1 or 2 accomplishments with real numbers. This is how you prove you're good at what you do. And you finish with something that shows a little personality, your unique value. It's short, it's strong, and it hits all the right notes.
Let's see how it works. For someone with a lot of experience, you lead with the title and years. Then, boom, a key certification and a hard number that proves your value, reducing costs by 18%. See, that's not just a claim, it's a fact. That's the kind of thing that makes a recruiter stop scrolling.
What if you're changing careers? Well, your summary is basically the bridge from your past to your future. This example names the new role, then immediately connects the dots by highlighting transferable strengths like planning and data analysis. It tells the recruiter exactly how your old job is relevant to this new one.
And for a recent grad with not a ton of work experience, no problem at all. You just shift the focus to your degree, your relevant classes, and skills you picked up in school. Here, you're not selling a long track record. You're selling your potential and your enthusiasm to get started.
We are in the home stretch. You've tweaked your resume for the bot, you've written a killer hook for the human. The very last step is a final pre-flight check to make sure everything is absolutely perfect before you send it off. So before you click submit, just quickly run through this list. Every single time. Does your job title match the posting exactly? Did you sprinkle in keywords from their description? Is the formatting clean? Is it a PDF? And maybe the most important question of all, did you tailor that summary specifically for this role? Remember, a generic resume gets a generic result, which is usually silence.
And that, right there, is what this all comes down to. Getting a job today is a 2-part challenge. First, you have to create a resume that satisfies the cold, hard logic of the robot. But then, you have to tell a story that actually impresses the human on the other side. You have to be technically precise, and you have to be personally compelling. If you can get both of those things right, you won't just beat the black hole, you'll land the interview.